Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, and today I'm hanging out with Kenny and John, and
Hello.
Hi.
they are kicking ass right now in their Dice of Rolling Kickstarter, which you guys just launched yesterday, and that's going super well, which is always awesome. And you guys have a company called PKCGames.
PKCGames.
PKCGames. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Figured we're gonna come on here. You guys are gonna, you can tell us about the Kickstarter and how you guys came up with the idea for the Dice of Rolling. What was your inspiration there? Kenny, you're a streamer. I think you both play in a bunch of D&D games.
Yeah.
So gaming is a huge part of your lives, apparently.
It is. I think actually both the dice and the streaming kind of start with the same story. So
yeah, they do.
You wanna tell it?
Yeah. So for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been going to PAX Prime, now PAX West, over in Seattle, and every year it was like our nerdy new year. We got to go see the newest games, the newest hardware, talk to Wizards of the Coast and Pathfinder and all these great companies. And last year was the year that finally broke us. We decided we need to get into the gaming community.
So I mean, we were there, and I mean, we got to meet like Chris Perkins, and we play a lot of board games too, and we ended up staying at the same place as Don Eskridge. I don't know if you played the Resistance.
I have actually.
Okay. Yeah, that game, we've got a board game group that meets almost every week, and the Resistance was one of the games that we just like played all the time.
Like played until
until the box wore
the box wore out, the cards wore out.
So
you couldn't add an expansion because the cards were too new, because you could tell the difference between them.
I think I played that game, but only a couple times. It's color coded, blue and red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we ended up staying at the same place as Don, getting to hang out. So we're talking games and playing games and drinking a lot of tequila with Don, and then so just coming back from that experience, getting to meet some people that we love what they do. They're I guess our idols in some way. I don't know if there's like a logical, like, this is when the switch flipped or something, but it's like we got home and she was just like, I want to stream on Twitch.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
I had like a game plan, and I had the schedule, and I was talking to him, and I was like, I really want to do this. I want to invest in this thing.
Well, and that was kind of her thing, and she actually, I guess, met some people at the Twitch booth, which is probably more relevant to that. But so she started streaming. What month did you start? September. And
same month that we got back from PAX.
Yeah. And then so my thing was we got back, and I really wanted to start DMing a D&D game for the first time. I had, we kind of played before in campaigns that usually fell apart before long, as they sometimes do. But I got back, I was like, I want to do this for real. I want to actually buy the books instead of using whatever hack together homebrew or whatever we were using before, and really just learn how the system works and put a group together. So went down the rabbit hole pretty quick. Just really kind of learned everything about the rules system, and we started a group around the same time. Yeah, and you know, we had some new players, we had some people who had been playing for a while, and some people were really struggling with the dice rolls, and the rules. And there kind of came a point where, you know, somebody had rolled the wrong dice for, you know, the 100th time.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
what's a D8 look like again? Is that the
yeah,
pointy one or?
Yeah. And I was just like, why aren't these things color coded? And then everybody was just kind of like, yeah, why?
Everyone
why aren't
stopped at the table and we all looked at him like, what are you talking
seemed
about?
really obvious. So that was
brilliant.
That was when the idea struck, and then I also wanted to optimize the set for 5th edition, because it also kind of annoyed me that, you know, you buy a dice set and it comes with one of every die instead of coming with, you know, a more effective distribution.
So you roll a d6 and then you roll
so
another.
That's because people were buying them wrong.
D6.
You bought them wrong. That's why. You gotta.
The poundo dice.
Yeah, that's good too. Well, anyway, so I mean, that's kind of how the whole dice thing got started, and then I've been working on it in earnest since like around the start of the year.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of months have been, you know, getting ready for the Kickstarter, and just a lot of work to do a Kickstarter, but I guess it paid off.
So I have a confession. At first, I was like, well, why? Like, why the color coding? Why does this thing need to be? And then I was actually reading the comments on your Kickstarter, to be honest with you. And someone was like, this is really great for new gamers. And I really didn't think about it that way, just because I've been gaming for so long, and the people I've gamed with have been gaming for so long. You know, I'm so far removed sometimes from being a new gamer that I don't think of those things. And when I read that, I'm like, you know what, that is true. You know, you literally just say, grab the red dice or grab the blue dice, and it makes it really easy. Yeah.
You have 3 different dice you have to roll for your turn. You know, you're trying to figure that out. You don't need sort of the added hassle of trying to figure out what a D12, how to distinguish a D12 from a D10, or a D12 from a D20, I guess, is probably the harder one.
Yeah, it's no, but I totally get it. I think I mean, I don't really have trouble telling dice apart at this point. It's still, I think, really helpful to just be able to grab, if you know, if you need like 5 of the same ones, it does make it faster when they're color coded. But yeah, I think a lot of the inspiration for the Dice of Rolling was new people, and because we weren't really new, but in a sense we were kind of new. We were kind of taking it seriously for the first time and trying to actually like learn how to play and learn the 5th edition rule set, because before that we had been in 4 and 3 and stuff like that, and none of those games ever really took root. But yeah, for new players, like they don't they definitely struggle with the die rolls, but they also struggle with or perhaps not struggle with, but they wouldn't know which dice they need for the game. So, you know, you buy one set and then you buy another set and you keep buying sets, and before long
you have throwing away percentile dice. You don't need those.
Yeah, and so it's like, as far as the whole distribution of dice goes, you know, I don't think it's something that I don't know. I guess just making it easy for a new player to just buy one thing and then have the stuff that they need and nothing else, nothing that they don't need.
Yep.
That's part of it.
It totally makes sense. You know, I'm like, you know, well, it's easy. You just have like 1,000 dice and you're good, right? That's how you normally do it. A couple hundred dice. Yeah. But no, from, you know, looking at it from the eyes of someone just coming into the hobby, there are so many things about it that are intimidating. You're being like, oh, here's all you need, just these dice. And, you know, the GM could easily look over, grab the purple ones, grab the red ones.
Mm-hmm.
and they know what they're dealing with. So I do actually like that. And you know, it took someone else to actually point it out. And I can imagine, even if you're someone who GMs a lot for like Adventure League or Society Games or something like that, where where you're dealing with a lot of new players, that's definitely great. And from the GM's perspective, you know, once they kind of have that system in place, they don't have to think about it that much either. They can just be like, grab this or grab that, you know, instead of saying grab the D20 or the D12, and the player isn't going to know what that is anyway. But hey, there's that pair of blue round dice, grab those, you know, or the red square ones, grab those. Yeah. So that does make a lot of sense. And you guys are kind of new to the hobby. Like, you guys just kind of like jumped in. You like,
yeah. Well, so like I said, we've been kind of for years, I guess we've been dabbling.
Yeah.
But
my first was 10 years ago in college.
Yeah.
A group asked me to come be a healer for them, and I never really got the opportunity to learn, because I was playing with really experienced players, and they would just say, do this, do that, and they're like, here's the dice, like put the dice in front of me. I was just like there to fulfill a role because they needed a body to keep the scene warm.
Role playing in a very strict sense. But yeah, most of those games that we were in, I guess the one that we've been, when we actually started in September of last year, or was it October? I don't remember. But anyway, that was the point at which we got serious, and we've been in like a solid group after that. And then I got into like a bunch more campaigns, because it just kind of exploded. And
I want to play this class now, and this campaign I can play.
Well, yeah, and like I don't know, all of the D&D nerds kind of like came out of the woodwork or something.
All of a sudden, it's like, where have you guys been?
And you know, I'm playing a game over lunch hour at work, and you know, yeah, it's been really a lot of D&D lately.
Well, you know, over the last couple of years with the D&D streaming, it really has exploded, you know, the hobby. I think, you know, people are going on Twitch, and there's so many streamers over there. I mean, heck, even D&D has their own stream channel now, you know, which is really cool. So your games, are you playing them in person, or are you streaming them? I know, Kenny, you do a bunch of streaming.
Yeah, we want to stream them at some point. Right now, we're just meeting up with our different groups in real life, going to our gaming shed or like at work, friends' houses, wherever we can get a table and play. We're playing there. But the goal is to someday bring a campaign to Twitch. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah.
We've been working on the camera and audio for that, and we may have something that will barely get the job done. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard to do that well.
It looks like
we don't have to do it well. We just have to do it.
I 100% agree with that. Let's back up though. You said gaming shed.
Yes.
That's right.
You have a gaming shed. Tell me about this gaming shed. I'm intrigued.
Well, so it's actually a smoking shed that's attached to our church.
Very interesting story. Yes, our church has a shed adjacent to it, and
wait a minute, you play the Devil's Hobby right in your church?
We play the Devil's Hobby right next to our church while smoking cigars. And everyone is cool with that. I know that's probably weird.
Sounds super weird.
Wait a minute. The only way to make that better would be hookers and blackjack. But I bring it up because I was just at a wake, and someone, you know, for a family member, and I was talking to one of my wife's uncles, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I tell him what I do, and he's like, "Oh, D&D. I'm not really into that. That's a satanic thing."
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I just
panic, right?
Yeah. So I'm just like, this isn't worth pursuing this conversation. I can only deal with so much stupid. So,
bye.
I feel like ever since Harry Potter, people have softened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just on the entire fantasy genre.
As a whole, yeah.
This didn't, you know, wizards casting spells did not turn me into the devil. So.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's just a weird area, and you know, I can't believe people are still there. They're stuck. Like I'm stuck in the '80s, but like all the cool stuff, not the stupid stuff that didn't make any sense. So, what are you streaming over on Twitch? And it looks like one of your buddies is in the chat.
Oh, yay! Fun.
I should have. Do we need to
Julia,
log into the YouTube so that we can?
If you go to the watch page, you can actually see the chat. But I generally grab questions from there.
I'm looking at the group chat and nothing is happening there. And I was like, oh, maybe no one's here.
You stream, you know.
And the chat is on this side and it goes. And that's all I have to worry about. So I'm not actually sure where we can view the Hangout.
It's on
help
YouTube,
you with that.
But maybe you should just tell us.
I think I have the link here. Let me just make sure that we're gonna get there we go. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Julia. Hey friends. Except these are gonna have their like real life names where I'm used to like their Twitch handles, like toilet.
It depends what Well, it depends what they use over on. It depends what they use over on YouTube. So you have fake names over there too. So
yeah,
you can get like really you can still have someone that's butthole 999. You know, show up.
True.
So no worries there. So what kind of games are you streaming over on Twitch?
So I stream mostly Nintendo. I'm a Nintendo-focused variety streamer. So I stream things like Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart. I have streamed Splatoon in the past. Just kind of mostly Nintendo-focused things. I do, like I said, want to start streaming D&D stuff, and we have done a D&D character workshop where we were trying to give people sort of a taste of what building a character is like and troubleshooting, getting ideas from the chat. And then I also want to get into more like RPG stuff because I play like Final Fantasy 14 in my spare time. So, so I love RPGs. I love adventure games. And I also love Nintendo.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot of Zelda in this house. Yeah. We kind of got the trifecta. I mean, like we don't really go in for, you know, the Call of Duty and stuff like that, but we got Nintendo, we got about 100 board games, and then we've got D&D now.
Yeah. So I've kind of in recovery from video games. I don't have enough time in my life to add them in. You know, for a while I was playing LOL, and what I liked about that game was like I could play a game and be done with it relatively short period of time. But I don't even think I have it installed on this machine. It's just like my son, he plays with his friends all the time. I always tried to convince him he should just stream it and record the games. I'm like, come on, this could be your college tuition here.
There you go.
Forget sports. This is where it's at.
No, nobody needs a sports scholarships. Now they have esports scholarships. I know I think the
Wait, really?
Yes. So the University of Utah, I believe, is doing esports scholarships now. I think I saw an article recently. Another state was just introducing esports. I think it was maybe in California. Yeah, esports scholarships.
Oh my God. I'm just imagining someone needs to make these parodies. I'm just imagining like the insane, you know, sports dad and soccer moms, you know, but you know, remove the sports and add esports instead.
Oh man.
Like shoot him.
What would that look
check
like?
Check your 9.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, because I remember growing up. Yeah. I remember growing up and going to like a friend's like baseball game and his mom screaming at him, Chris, if you try and steal that base, you're not getting dinner tonight.
Motivational.
Oh man.
So that is kind of crazy. The world has turned, things have moved. And the idea that you can actually get a scholarship now from playing video games. Or are you guys familiar with Encounter Roleplay?
Yes.
Yeah.
They Twitch stream a ton of gaming, tabletop gaming. And you know, we had Will on not that long ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to explain to people to my parents what I do," and like, "No, I'm not a drug dealer." And it's funny because he's a really young guy. He's like 21, and he's never worked a real job.
It's a real job, though.
I totally get that.
A traditional job.
Because you know she streams a lot, and you know it's kind of what she does at this point. And explaining that is like the hardest thing. And it's like any time somebody asks like, so what do you do? I'm just like,
oh no, please.
Here we go again.
Can't
like,
I just say I work from home?
I have like a list of like metaphors that I try to use in order to like explain to them, explain what like Twitch streaming is in a way that, you know, regular people can understand.
But live.
Yeah, it's YouTube but live. It's like if you were, you know, watching, you know how you watch like like a talk show, you know, what if you could just chat with the person who's doing it? And then it's like, you know, no, it's fine. There's not just guys hitting on you all the time. Like there's a whole list of things that everybody has, you know, the first thing to come out of their mouth every time you have to tell them what you do. But
and the fact that you have to explain to them what you do, and then all of a sudden they have all these preconceptions about like, oh, you must have this happen all the time. I'm like, you just learned about this thing 30 seconds ago. How do you already have an opinion about this? Like, please.
I just tell them I'm a pro nerd and then walk away.
There you go.
And then draw whatever conclusions you want from that.
There's something really satisfying about telling people, like, I make money gaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the dream.
It's a dream, yeah.
Muggle jobs are for suckers.
Yep.
Muggle jobs.
Muggle jobs.
I like it.
Yeah. A friend of mine.
I still have a muggle job.
Friend of mine coined that phrase, and I'm like, yep. Muggle jobs are the bane of my live chat.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to appreciate the work lurkers, the people who tune in to hear us, you know, regardless of the fact that they're at work, getting around, you know, sneakily.
Hey, if we can help them not get anything done, then it's our duty.
It's our duty. Bring down workplace productivity.
Sticking it to the man.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah.
By the way, guys, in the description, you can find links to the Dice of Gaming Kickstarter, as well as the website and the Kenny's streaming channel as well. So go check those out, as always, after the chat's over. But they are there. And if you decide to jump in on that Kickstarter, it is already kicked, so you will not have to be waiting for it to find out if it goes or not.
You will get your stuff.
You'll get your stuff. So that is awesome. Because you guys have already kicked it. What are you guys at now?
Last I checked, we were at 150%. It was crazy yesterday. Just absolutely, absolutely went the way that you'd like it to go. I mean, when does that happen?
Yeah. And of course, he comes in, and I'm awake. It's like it feels like Christmas. You know, the tension and the anticipation of this launch. And he's awake. I'm awake. I'm in here like prepping stuff for the first push of media, and he like calls from his office. He's like, I just launched it. And I'm like, what? He's like, it's 7:30 in the morning. This is not what we were planning.
Well, we were going to launch it at 9. But then a blog, it was Nerds on Earth, did a really great article, and we were getting some traffic for that. So I figured, hey, Joe, just launch it early.
Go for it.
And then we still kind of pushed out most of the the communication at 9.
Yep.
But yeah,
Tribality, they were out pretty early too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually did it the day before. Yeah.
I saw that. Because when you told me what time it was going, it's like, well, we usually launch a video around 6 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon Eastern time. So I'm like, the 4 o'clock, it'll be a couple hours after launch. That should be good. Yeah, you guys are up to 7,754 out of 5,000. Nice. 323 backers.
That hurts my eyeballs.
That's crazy. It's really really unreal. Yeah. It's a lot of dice.
It's really cool now because I think having the first day jitters over and having it be funded, we can really focus on like getting it to tables everywhere. I mean, that was kind of our mantra, and we can really focus on that. We don't have to worry about whether or not it will get funded. People can jump on board, know that they're going to get the product, and hopefully, like, we just reach a lot of people all over the world. I mean, because we still have support for our international supporters as well, which is
and we didn't actually run international shipping for the Kickstarter itself. To be clear, that was kind of one of those controversial choices actually that I kind of had to make. People kind of expect it, but I wasn't going to be able to get it to them for cheap. So I in the end decided to just run the Kickstarter US only and come up with a cheaper way to get it to the international backers afterwards.
Yeah.
I would like to point out
at a price point everybody can get in on.
Yeah.
I want to point out too, on your website, you got some freebies. You give drinks, yes, and you have printable cards, right?
Yeah. And they're both very very different. I suppose in a way it reflects our personalities.
Our personalities are really reflected in these two.
As I made the cards. So I, during the process of researching, learning to DM, but also researching everything in the game in order to come up with the optimal distribution of dice for this project. I also, got pretty familiar with the rules.
Yeah.
And ended up one thing, another thing other than the dice that I had been wanting to do for the group that I was DMing for was come up with like these cards that explain the action economy, which is the other thing that like people cannot get when they're starting out. So
wait, so when can I move? When can I attack? Can I attack? What's a bonus action? When do I take bonus actions?
Or just even like how to roll an attack. People struggle with like, well, it's a D20 and it's your weapon die, even after playing 5 times. So yeah, I made the cards, trying to kind of take so a lot of the rules are kind of spread throughout the book a little bit. So I tried to condense those into something that is much more dense and all in one place. So that's a resource.
Take it to the table with you without having this giant book open all the time.
Yeah. And anyway, people have really liked those. I'm really happy with them. You can print them up and sleeve them, and if you print it at 100%, and then cut them out, you can sleeve it in like Magic the Gathering size card sleeves. And then so mine is all rules, and this is how the game works, and that's it. And hers is here's how to mix.
Here's how to drink. So that was that. I don't know actually if I came up with the idea or if you came up with the actual idea
for the drinks.
For the drinks,
you did.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We share ideas all the time, and so I worked privately as a bartender for a while, doing private functions and doing some mixology and things. I was like, man, we have this rich world that you can take all this inspiration from. Why don't we have, potions, party potions that people can actually make and enjoy or incorporate into their game? So that's how that happened. So I did all the recipes, recipe creation, the illustrations, and then he helped with the formatting and the technical stuff because that's what he does.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have your party potions while you're playing in your gaming shed?
We haven't used them yet.
Man, we should.
We should. But getting a full bar there might be a little bit difficult.
No, I don't know where to put it.
I don't really church, but you guys might make me turn the corner on that a little bit.
We have a cool
Cars,
one.
drinking,
and yeah. Poker night every now and then with the boys doing their thing.
Yep.
But where does the fire and brimstone fit in?
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
That happens in the other building.
The D&D shed adjacent. So
That's right.
So did you say 4 campaigns? Is that what I heard? Or read maybe?
Sorry, what?
4 campaigns D&D? Yeah.
No, I think it's so I DM. Well, let me think about it. I DM the one for your group.
Yep.
And then I'm in one at work, one with Drew, and then I was in another one at work, which has ended since then. Yeah, the friend who was DMing that ended up moving to Texas, yes. Houston. Yeah. So I guess I'm only in 3 now. Is that right?
Yeah, until I start one.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you DM the one that my friends want to do for stream.
Yeah.
Double checking your bio actually says 3. So yeah. So what kind of games are you guys running? Are you running Adventure Pass? Are you running homebrew stuff?
Well, since I haven't actually been doing it that long, so I'm still way more comfortable with doing a published module and then just kind of riffing on it or adding things and customizing it a bit.
It's really fun.
Yeah. So we started out with the starter set, and we're basically through that now. I've been trying to figure out what I want to run for them next. Right now, I guess I'm kind of leaning towards maybe some homebrew, and then transition into
Strahd?
No, what's the one? The new one.
Tales of the Yawning Portal.
The new one, the Stream of Annihilation.
Okay. Yeah, the one that's not out yet. So yeah, the Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah, so I was thinking about doing some homebrew stuff until then, and because I really like the idea of Chult. I think it looks really, really cool. I think I might want to run that next and just fill it, do some filler in the meantime.
Yeah.
We've been on a pretty long hiatus because 2 of the players in our group had a baby.
Yeah.
So
our rogue had a baby.
They needed some downtime.
Kids wreck stuff.
Yeah. I mean, luckily we like their kids enough, so it all works out. They're pretty great, all things considered.
I've got a couple of my own, so I understand. Mine are bigger now, so the problems are bigger as well.
Yeah. Nothing a little table time can't fix, I'm sure.
Do you guys play?
Together? Yeah. My kids. So I attempted to get my daughter into it unsuccessfully. I think I tried a little bit young, but she's also not into anything that's kind of nerdy anyway. It's like, even when she was real little, it's always been shoes and makeup and clothes. But yeah, she's super, super girly. So there was a period where she was still playing with dolls, and she was in the Monster High dolls. So I tried to make like a Monster High type character, you know. So I made her a bard that was a shifter. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of modeled it after whichever the one she liked was, and what she ended up resorting to was when she would cast her bard spells. I had the spell cards. She would play them like they were Pokemon cards or something, which she's never played Pokemon before. So you know, so she did not take to it. My son. It took a couple attempts. He eventually did get into it. I actually got him hooked with a superheroes game, and he got to play a purple flying gorilla from space, and that was it. He was hooked. And
That's
then
amazing.
then when we started a D&D game, you know, his uncles are in it, and he wanted to play, but we record our games, and he wasn't really keen on being recorded. So it took him a while to come around, and he finally decided he wanted to play more than he didn't want to be recorded. So, and when you were talking about the printout cards for new players, it kind of made me think of him and one of my other players. We have a all female group that I DM for, and one of the players there is newer too. And in the comments, you know, there's always people that give that one player in that game and my son a hard time for not like knowing all the rules. You know, even though they've been playing for a while. But like even in the D&D game my son's in, he's been in it for probably, you know, 2 years now. But we play like once a month, so he plays once a month. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm sure it doesn't all stick. And you know, it's in the mix of other things that he has to remember between school and whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's you know, probably a D&D group that plays just about as often as any D&D group plays. It's like once a week. I mean, a lot can happen in a week.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget stuff. And then if you're playing once every 3 weeks, or you know, every month, like a lot of people do.
And then you have to skip the 1 month because something happens. So now it's been 2 months.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that stuff.
Yeah, our in-person games we were doing basically 3 games a month, and it would be like a different DM, which has been nice because it keeps any one particular DM from getting burned out and running. But it is a lot of time between each session, and like you said, there's always going to be that month where something comes up, and you just can't fit in a game. So, you know, so now it's 2 months before that game gets played. Now online we're playing more. Like we play a weekly Open Legend RPG game. I'm playing in a Marvel Phase Rip game, which is from TSR when TSR was a thing back in the 80s. And then, you know, then I also run a D&D game as well. So we got a lot of gaming going on as well.
I think I actually have a TSR, one of the books. I think that's what one of my friends lent me to look at.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's not in here. It's out with the other stuff, but yeah.
Well, TSR was the original, or correct me if I'm wrong, but the original publisher for Dungeons and Dragons, or I suppose they would have been the publisher after Gygax, because didn't he self-publish it first, or I don't know. Anyway, TSR was early on.
Oh yeah.
So this isn't D&D. This is something else, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like some kind of crazy space.
Well, you can do a lot. You can do a lot in that.
So they did a bunch of different genres. They did Star Frontiers, which was sci-fi.
Is that? I think that might be.
They did Gamma World, which was kind of like post-apocalyptic. There was Top Secret, which was spy and espionage. They had Marvel superheroes. And they're the ones I can think off the top of my head. I mean, there was a lot of different games coming out at that time from different companies back in the 80s. And it's like, we always joke, like in the 80s when you made a game, like the more charts, the better your game was. But we've gotten away from that. No more THAC0.
Yeah, see, like that kind of stuff, I don't even know. Like, I know the term, but I don't know. Well, so basically THAC0 was that was basically the way AC worked, right? So it was like you subtracted from like 0 was the best or something. I have no idea. Like how that would even work. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't have this history.
So THAC0 stands for to hit armor class 0. 10 was the worst armor class. -10 was the best armor class. It was a swing of 20. And essentially, when they came out with 3rd edition, they said, wait a minute, what if we just start at 0 and work our way up, pretty much? You know, 10 being the baseline. And which made so much more sense. And back then, it's like sometimes it was good to roll high, other times it was good to roll low. And for the most part, you know, they, you know, with 3rd edition, they said, wait a minute, let's just go, all right, if you roll high, it's good.
Yeah. I'm looking at Oddball's comment. It was Rift. That was the book that I got from my friend to check
Rifts?
out.
Okay.
Yeah, Rifts. So
That's
okay,
cool.
yeah, that would be Palladium's. So I want to jump into the chat real quick here. Hey guys, you want to start the roll call and let us know where you're hailing from today?
Oh, did we say where we're from?
We
No,
not.
it's a secret.
We are.
It's a secret. No telling.
Don't tell. From Idaho.
We're from Idaho. Go Idaho.
So, do you guys said you go to PAX West? Do you do any of the other PAX?
Oh, we'd like to, but not yet. We kind of want to go to Unplugged now that that's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be so
You should
great.
come. We'll hang out. We'll be there. We're yeah. Nerdarchy will be the booth babes for Open Legends. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They got really low standards over there.
Perfect.
So,
Right in.
Yeah. Brian Feaster asked us to help out with his table, so we'll be doing that one. And other people were asking her, like, are you going to do PAX Unplug? I'm like, I guess we kind of have to. It's literally in my backyard. It's like, you know, I'm like 20, 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia, so.
Nice.
I absolutely must go to that one. So we're doing that. I'm doing that one. We got Gen Con coming up. Just did Origins. And I really haven't done any cons before this year. Like we did Philly Games Con. They had their first one. That was a lot of fun. It looked like they did really good, but they did not do a year 2. So
oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little sad about that. All right, I'm gonna jump into the chat here and see where people are coming from. We got John in Toronto. We got Ben in Stratford, but that could be anywhere. There's a bunch of those. We got Frigginator, Washington State. There is a Stratford right down the street from my house, pretty much. We got Scott in Columbia, South Carolina. We got Zerif. No, you're just talking. We have Bob in Arkansas. We have Oddball in Denmark. Nice. Steve in Arizona. We got Mazer, Visalia, California. Jimmy in Ventura. Aaron in Utah. We got Siren Fox in Utah. We got Patrick in Sweden. Brian, New York City. We got California with S. Daniel. Staff Writer Doug is in Cleveland. Andrew, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Woo.
We got Comic Book University, formerly a 12-story building in Oakland, California, but that's currently undergoing renovations. And that was from a game we played in. He's actually from Asbury Park and lives in Canada. We got Sue checking in from Atlanta. And we got Edmonton in the house with Nicholas. Zarif Gaming is in New Mexico. Ivo is in Brazil. And we got Mr. Rob's Cleaning Service in Oregon, of course. So we got people checking in from all over the place. We've been bouncing around 50 viewers, so that's always cool. You guys are hanging out with us on your lunch break or in the early in the morning if you're on the West Coast.
That's right. Yeah.
Depending on what you consider early.
Early. Yeah, that's a good point.
I've been doing a guest appearance in a game with some of my Canadian friends on Tuesday nights, and I just wrapped that up. And that's been a lot of fun, but I'm glad to see that game go because it starts at like 10 o'clock at night for me. And I'm an old man.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yikes.
So that was actually, I think that was the 4th game I was doing in a week. So Now, for now we're down to 3. But guys, stay tuned because we do have something coming up in the near future, probably August. We got a collab game coming up, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Most of the games that we are in actually do play every week, so we have a nice tight D&D schedule as well.
Well, you know, 3 games a week. That's you know, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's right. All of the things that you don't need to do. Sorry, I think you cut out there for a second. What was that?
Yeah, it happens. You guys don't have any kids, right? So you guys can makes it easy.
We have a cat, I guess.
Yeah.
When we travel, we gotta like make sure she gets babysat, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. The
She's
cat
over here hanging out behind one of the monitors.
She tried to destroy the live stream earlier before we went on by jumping on the keyboard and turning off our. She almost unfriended you, actually.
Well, yeah, she almost perma-blocked you.
You were about to get perma-blocked if I hadn't have canceled it.
Oh, nice. The cat is like, I hate that guy so much. Ugh.
Which doesn't make any sense. You have a magnificent beard. Like,
that's right. Yeah, I love the beards. I love the beards on this show.
We do too, but unfortunately, my wife does not like the beard. So, like, I'm like, the fans won't recognize me if I get rid of the beard. It's got to stay.
It's about the brand.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I think there's the possibility of us being in an upcoming dungeon crate, and they're gonna do beard tokens.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So we had to send in pictures of our faces so they can do the beards as tokens.
As tokens, so like flat, like you put them on the playmat or something.
Yeah, I don't know. They use advanced deployment for a lot of stuff and a couple other companies. So I guess it depends if it's going to be in plastic or wood.
Okay.
You know, as to what company they go with. But I don't know. You know, they can give out they can give them out as inspiration at their tables.
Oh, I like that.
That's awesome.
You grew a beard.
Yeah. Until you roll with advantage, you have a beard. Or more of a beard if you already had one. Well, we jokingly say that's our uniform, is the beard and glasses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a good look. I'm a fan.
Mine isn't as big, but yeah, you gotta have a beard.
You gotta have something to hide the face.
That's right. That's right.
So you say you want to start streaming D&D games. What's the obstacle there?
So part of it is Rogue having a baby, but the baby is now getting old enough to probably come here and sleep and hang out and, you know, do baby things. And the other obstacle is we live on the 2nd story of our condo unit, and we have vaulted ceilings, which makes capturing audio kind of a hassle. So we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a matter of like, you know, putting on a good stream. Like we could just capture it. Like that would be a good start, I guess. But you know, people don't want to watch something that has bad audio specifically for D&D. And we'd probably need like you know, multiple cameras or something to get different sides of the table. Yeah. But at the very least, we want people to be able to hear clearly, and that can be a challenge. But yeah,
I mean, it's a challenge, and it's a boon as well, because D&D can be just theater of the mind. You can listen to a D&D podcast and you can imagine all these things happening. So if we can get audio right, then that's a huge hurdle that is just taken care of at that point. And it's going to be the most important element.
Most people listen anyway, so you're absolutely right. You know, we do a combination of in real life gaming where the camera angle is not great because it's just like one long view of the table, and our gaming table for many years it has served us well, but it's literally a pool table that has been modified into a table, which is not great for capturing the video because it's too wide. Like, because when we've done other games with narrower tables, it's like, oh wow, that's a way better shot. And the audio has always been a struggle, like finding the right one. Eventually, we ended up going with the Yeti, and we just hang it from the ceiling, and that seems to work pretty well.
That's what we're doing.
That's kind of what we're working.
That's kind of where we arrive as well. And then like for this, having the dual headsets is great. I mean, not that it's relevant at all, but since we're talking about audio, these Gamecom headsets, they have incredible mics. I'm not paid to say that.
No, we're not. We're just fans.
It's just they work really good for this. Getting two of them set up at the same time is kind of a pain, but
I managed. I got it done.
Yeah,
I did a tech thing.
If you're looking for a headset with a good mic, highly recommended.
So
780, I think.
Yeah.
So what do you got? Like a splitter or something?
So I am using Audio Repeater, which is a Russian guy made this software. I think there are places you can get it for free, but technically you're not supposed to. So I paid the fee, and it is a butt to learn. But once you learn it, you can plug in any number of USB powered devices and just set up a million splits and get it all into the same channel with very little quality degradation.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds great.
I forget what we were talking about before we got onto that.
Streaming a campaign.
Streaming the campaign. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So audio quality, but yeah. I mean, it's hopefully we'll start doing it soon. I'd really like to. The part of it is also I've been so busy for the last couple months with the Kickstarter. That is another reason why we haven't resumed the campaign yet. But hopefully that'll.
It's kind of good timing. It all sort of worked out.
Yeah.
So
soon.
You can also virtual gaming too. It works pretty well and is. It's a lot easier anyway as far as capturing and putting it up. We do quite a bit of that and have done quite a bit of that.
Do you use the Roll20 or?
Us personally, most of the time we just do theater of the mind, and we'll just use Google Hangouts.
Oh yeah.
But the game I just finished up with, that's Roll20. There's Fantasy Grounds, which in that collab I was talking about, that's what we're going to be using for that. So there's definitely a lot of options out there, and there's also their own like communities and stuff like that. And also, you might want to consider just reaching out to other streamers and doing collabs with them.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing. Man, our cat is just being an absolute jerk right now. What is she doing?
She's on kitty crack because we were gone all day.
Something weird is going on here. Sorry. But yeah, that's a couple points ago, you just talked about doing theater of the mind, and I'm sure you guys have done multiple videos on this topic, but when to do theater of the mind versus using a battle mat or using pictures, or that's a great topic. And trying to find the right balance. I would like to switch to theater of the mind for like a lot of things, because I think having maps really kind of gets in the way when it comes to I think even combat. Like having a map for here's where you are in a dungeon, or in a town, perhaps that's really useful. But when people are using maps in combat, I don't like how it I feel like it stifles the creativity, because it's like if they feel they can see everything on the map, then nobody's going like, well, what's around me.
Yeah.
You know?
Is there anything hanging from the ceiling I might swing off of?
That's right.
You know, are there any tables I can take cover under? Like,
yeah,
you kind of lose that curiosity in asking those questions because you assume all your questions are being answered already by the map.
We've always used miniatures and even representation as just markers for position. We've never really, like, we don't really, a lot of times we don't put out a lot of like any of the details. So there's not too much there where they're going to go, oh, this is everything, and they can kind of fill it in. Even before we started using minis, we would use D6s for the bad guys and D4s for the good guys. And it was just so that, you know, the DM wouldn't be like, okay, the ogre attacks the wizard, and the players are like, well, how does he attack the wizard? Because he's behind the rest of the party. You know, that's definitely things that would come up. So that's probably why we kind of started using that. And even before that, like one of my earliest DMs, he would just like, and so it just gives like a general idea and maybe the rough, you know, shape or size of the room without feeling like, and then all the other details are still kind of theater of the mind.
Yeah. That feels right. Definitely. We're still kind of trying to figure out how to, you know, it's interesting because, like, you know, DMing a campaign is there's a lot of, I guess, like social engineering that you're doing. It's like, you know, you gotta, a lot of things to think about to, like, you know, how are you going to set the right tone? How are you going to do all this? But also just like, you know, whether you use a map or not, that's going to affect how the players are experiencing what you're doing, and find, you know, using the wrong thing, and you know, something that you thought was going to be awesome turns out to be lame. I'm still learning a lot, a lot about that.
It's definitely a journey. You know, it's more art than science, and figuring out what works for your individual group. You know, some people, well, like if you go online and you can find a lot of crafting channels, and you look at the stuff that they do on there where they're creating everything. Like you said, there's literally no room for your imagination, in a sense that someone actually created everything. Now,
that's right.
DM Scotty, I had just shared, I guess earlier in the week, he actually did a dwarven steam-powered icebreaker ship that was like friggin' amazing.
Wow.
But and like like that crowd, they build everything. If there's an altar there, they build it, and if there's braziers there, they build them, and they may or may not have flames in them. You know, so I look at that stuff, and I'm like, I would love to play in that campaign, but I don't think I want to run that campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna have to look that up later.
Absolutely.
The way they build everything.
I
there's a group on.
You're losing your audio again. Sorry.
It happens. Is it cutting in and out?
Yeah, I think you're back now.
Okay, so there's a group on Facebook, the DM Scotty's group, and you know, it's basically all crafting, and I don't craft anything. I just like to lurk and you know, watch the stuff that they do over there.
Yeah,
you know, it's pretty amazing. So we are right at the hour mark. So I think we're going to wrap it up, guys. In the description, you can find all the links. Go check out their Kickstarter. Go check out their Facebook. I mean, not the Facebook page, the website. Go check out the Twitch channel where you can follow these guys. Are you guys on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah. You go first.
My handle is at PKCGames.
And we've also got one for Dice of Rolling. It's at Dice of Rolling.
Okay, and I will add them in after we wrap up here. And guys, also, we still have the GoFundMe going on for the campaign for us to get out to LA. Thank you for everyone who's already donated. If you haven't and can, please do, or at least share it out. Every little bit helps. We were well on our way to getting there, but we still could use a little more help to procure lodgings and whatnot. So I want to thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed talking with you and learning about the stuff you're doing. The dice of rolling, I was a little mad at first, but after talking to you guys and looking at it and hearing other people, I think it is a great idea for new players. And like I said, we're just really far removed from being new players ourselves. Sometimes there's things we just don't think about. And also go to their website and check out the free stuff. So with that, guys, until next time.
Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to
no, I shouldn't start that thought. I was just going to say somebody needs to make like a guide for new players, just learning about like what D&D is. Because I spent literally 2 hours searching before I figured out that the right thing to search for was, Forgotten Realms in terms of the site. so yeah, a lot of work to do there.
How to learn D&D. Well, with that, guys, until next time, stay nerdy.